another episode of RimWorld, Nedo's story. So today we're starting where we left off last week. We need an alternative power source. I just had a notification come up and I didn't know what it was. It was just one of my extensions I put on and I haven't activated it yet. Scared me. I'm like, nobody's in here. Why am I getting a chat? Yeah, so what we need is an alternative power source today. We need to get our solar up and running. And what else do we need to do? We've got a quest at the moment. So we've got to make 20 dusters. And we've got 10 days left. And I think, from memory, I think we might have had maybe 5 or 7. So we need to get that moving today. That's a priority. We want to get this quest done. Mostly I want the goodwill. What do you call it, this place? The Menino on the Plain had a quest for us. And if we exchanged 20 dusters with them of normal quality or better, we were going to get 31 plus, goodwill. So that's going to help out a lot, because I think it's this blue one. Is it? Purple, okay. So it's this one. So they're already allies, but it would take us up to about 100. It'd be high 90, kind of like that one. So that would be really great, because then we'd automatically have 2 high allies. And we are working on taking the hostile out of the nation of Korriban and the titanium or tinium unification. I think that's tinium. Tinium? I'll start getting these right eventually. I'm working on it. So, go back into our village. Now, I just want to check where our storage for this is, because I believe on the last episode I switched over where my storage was. And we just got a prisoner, I think. Or we've just got a prison barracks. So we got Nitro and we got McLean. And as a result, we needed more beds. So we had to start making some beds down here and kind of like fixing up what was going on up here, because it was a nasty mess. So that's all fixed up now. But because of that, the prison beds that we had temporarily up in here, we had to move. And I wasn't using this space, so I thought, hey, I'll put that there. So let's see, dusters, these. We have 5, and I know from last time before I hopped off, they're all normal or good, which is really great. So Chimpanzee's asleep at the moment, so every time he's awake, I'll get him to work on that. But because it's nighttime, what is Seahorse and stuff doing? She's unloading. That's right, we've got animals to unload too, because I didn't take gear off them. Berries, an urn, axe. But I think we went and attacked an encampment. Are those eggs? They are. These chickens been busy. Good little chickens. They're all over the place. Oh, okay, we'll have a good supply of eggs, and or, if all goes well, we'll have a really good supply of chickens. Also, I had a suggestion from one of my viewers, actually from TikTok, and she suggested that to prevent the whole animals getting hauled into my hospital to make it up in here. And I thought that was actually a really good idea, so I'm going to just make a couple of beds that we've got that. And hello again, Moose Like Jagger. Thanks for coming back and watching. My RimWorld playthrough is kind of more of a relaxed channel where I actually have a bit more availability to kind of like talk and you know, just enjoy interacting with people, more so than, like, for instance, PUBG. Alright, I'll refer to you as Moose. Yeah, the PUBG one, I don't really have much spare time to kind of like look over and reply as I'm trying to zoom in and stuff. And 7 Days to Die, you know, you can get stuck in a horde and before you know it, you're getting nommed on by a zombie. So RimWorld's kind of like the best place to come and just relax and just chill out. We've got these are unfertile, but that's okay. We've got a few, and the unfertile ones should be getting taken down here. So yeah, so we've got a couple of medical beds in here now. Not all of them. I do want these to actually be made, but I'm not expecting that to happen this time because right now the priority of today's episode is basically to get those dusters made for the quest. I need to select a research focus. Alright, I forgot about that. Okay, so let's see. So we just got solar panels researched through, and for some reason we already had nutrient paste researched. I didn't click on that, but okay, yeah, sure. I don't have any water supply area, so windmill generator is going to be just useless for me. Hydroponics, nah, they take up too much electricity. I just don't have that yet at the moment, so I'm trying to build the solar. Auto doors, I personally haven't found too much use for those. I know you can get them, but I know as soon as you have a power outage, you can literally have people trapped, and it becomes a problem. So we made pemmican, and I normally go for devil strand as like the very next thing because from my perspective, I can sell devil strand really well. However, this climate is weird because it's permanent summer, but we're in winter, if that makes sense. So devil strand is notoriously hard and slow to grow. So what happens is it can take 2 to 3 times the amount of time as a regular food crop to grow. And if we have a lot of variables, like for instance it's coming into spring next, like there'll be a really great time to grow it, but being on a permanent summer map, what's going to happen is we're going to get fires and all sorts of stuff. So I'm actually going to need that crop to kind of be secured away from animals and blight and all kinds of things. So I don't want to throw that down yet, but I do need to pick a research focus. I know that brings in a lot of money as well, but I'm not really that big into having all the drugs in the base. However, the what is that, penoxycyllin production, that can be really useful. Oh, can I make this? Package survival meals. Will it do that? Yes, I can there we go. Okay, so we've chosen package survival meals, and that's going to be critical because I've got pemmican being made, and that's really great. Like we've got like, you know, God only knows, is that 13,000? I think that's 13,000. Probably enough for the moment, but packaged survival meals, I mean, all the animals and everything, they all snack on it, so it doesn't really matter. By the way, we've got a lot of, culled a lot of animals across winter that were in the area. I mean, like a lot of animals that were in the area, so we've got plenty of meat coming, and thankfully our crops brought in a lot of rice and berries. The power source. Okay, so I've got this as a kind of pretty symmetrical map, so because you may not have seen some of the earlier videos, just switch on power so you can see. So if I focus on one section, so over here are some of our windmills, wind turbines, right? So I've got it coming across in a line, which I need to fix up that square. What is that? Oh, it got damaged. Okay, that must have been the thing that got hit by lightning. So it comes in, and I've got these on 4 individual power grids. They're all mirrored. If you can just imagine, it comes in like this. It goes into this battery bank, and it comes up to here. And the next one up here would do the exact same thing. It comes down, goes in, and goes out sideways to there. So it's all like that. So what I researched last time, and I was surprised we finished researching it at all because it's just been slack, is the solar generators. And I've been waiting on these because the turbines themselves are just not enough. And so I want to just build really just a couple on each one of these for the moment. And then I'll give you a quick tour of the base, kind of recap what's in here. Actually, how many did I make? I like this being mirrored. Sorry about the flying around. Let's see, 1, 2, what is that, 3? No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made 5. Okay. Wasn't sure about that. I do try to have everything mirrored. That's not going to fit. Okay, that's fine. Hey, Triantha. I'm pretty sure I didn't say it right this time. But welcome back. let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the sides are mirrored. Down the bottom, these ones we'll just do 4 on them for now because we obviously can't have 5 up the top. And I'm a stickler for symmetry. So okay, so we got solar. So let's actually get them going. I'll just quickly save, even though I just started. I save this a lot, just so you guys know. I'll be saving, and then sometimes I don't trust that I saved, so then I'll save again. All good. Yeah, so what happens is, so in here, I have these vanometric power cells, and I loaded in specifically with 4. I chose to come in with 4. You can do that. I've got the mod Prepare Carefully, and I chose those because what they do is they automatically produce power, electricity, but only a tiny bit, just enough to maybe power some lights or perhaps some heaters, something critical. Because we're going into permanent summer, the first thing I needed was air conditioners. So then we had to research up to batteries so we could get some stored energy going to power more devices, which we've now got more devices in here and we're in the need of more electricity. So what's happened is I make these wind turbines. Now, I don't fully understand these yet, and I've played quite some hours on RimWorld, but I still don't understand it. So they output a variable amount of power, but it's always over around about 2000. As long as the wind is actually flowing, sometimes the turbines will stop if there's no breeze. So they say grid excess stored, but it's really what's actually sitting in the batteries, going to the batteries more so. And I think it also applies to like this little line here, kind of the same thing. So what happens is those charge up the batteries extra, and that's great. But if the wind stops, we have no power production. So that's where the solar comes in. Now, solar works throughout the day, all day. I'll read this in a second. And so as soon as nighttime happens, whatever solar generators you have aren't powering anything anymore. So it's good to have a mixture of both. If you get, say, a lightning storm, or I guess like a windstorm, kind of like a hurricane or something, the turbines will absolutely be going off. Yeah, well, that's exactly the point, is they are really consistent during the day. However, there are solar eclipses that prevent you from getting light for a few hours, which is sometimes detrimental if you've got, say, a big, what is it, a crematorium machine? This thing? These things. Oh, yeah, there we are. Yeah, what is it? A huge stone crematorium which vaporizes corpses with extremely high temperatures. The amount of electricity that thing runs off needs its own set of generators, honestly. But I've just got to make sure Chimpanzee is actually making... Where did I move stuff to? Because I moved things last time. Really? A raid? I didn't even get to read the question. I need him to be making these dusters. Okay, so several separate groups of mechanoids from Iryuth Mecha Hive have arrived in transport pods nearby, and they're attacking immediately. Okay, so that's not good. There'll be 1, 2, 3 shadows is what I'm seeing here. Maybe 4, being that's very dark. Could be only 1, but it looks like there's going to be at least 3, possibly 4. So I'm going to need everybody to just stop what they're doing. Is that everybody? Chimpanzee must be somewhere. Where is he? Oh, I didn't even have a cost. Oh, there they are. Okay, so you two, come on. I need you all, and probably your animals, because they've got trained attack animals. So where was that drop? It was up here, wasn't it? God, I'm terrible with direction. I've lost where I'm supposed to be going. I feel like it was up here, but I also feel like there's no shadows and rocks that match that formation. There it is. Ugh, I am so bad at directions. Okay, so I don't want them too close, so I'm guessing about here to get there, and I'll just quickly save raid just before it happens, so hopefully nobody dies. Here they come. There's 5. Ooh, we got a lot of the big thingies. Oh, chimpanzee, you're too far down. Alright, guys, come on. Acosta, can you reach that one? You've got a rifle, don't you? Yeah, she can. Great. Alright, guys. Chimpanzee, I need you to back off. I need you to at least be usable. Don't kill her. Oh, jeez. I need to pause it for a second. You, I need you to, like, get your butt up in here to the hospital. And I wonder if you'd be able to carry your Nissan. Probably not. You don't have a gun yet. McLean's brand new. He literally just arrived in the very last episode. So I'm just going to make him rescue her. Oh, one of my cats died. What's that? Oh, that's just awful. What was it doing down here? Okay. Everybody else did live. You guys need to go back up to hospital. You going up to hospital? Yeah, you are. Okay. Now, I've just got to keep an eye on this as well. Oh, that's where. Alright. So there was more. Damn it. Come on. Come and attack. I'll just go for him. Yeah, I have a certain amount of cats, and I'm trying to keep some of the original ones. Guys, I'll get your animals out. I accidentally grabbed him. You need to be taking her to the hospital. I'm pretty sure you're still carrying. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely just destroy them. Alright. Hey, horse. Go and rest. Oh, jeez, he's just standing here bleeding. Get in the bed and rest. And you're already taking it. Enyo, we're going to need you up in here. And I don't know who my other medical person was. Fire. All of them are really high stats anyway, but there's a couple that actually have that category. Medical, here we are. We want weeks in here. Because I brought in 12 people to begin with, and to deal with 12 people in this game at one time is absolutely nuts. They'll normally just go bonkers and just try to kill each other. So what I did instead was I kind of gave everybody like as much priority as possible with their skills. Okay, she's going to tend to him. He's already tending to himself, apparently. How is that possible? He's got 8 hours of life. Oh, weeks is on it. Enyo. Maybe do a little healing. Be right there. Something is getting blown up in the distance, by the way. Like, every time that screen shakes, I don't know what that is. Okay, she's gonna live. He's gonna live. And she's gonna live. Now, that was really sad that I lost cat number 1. I have a few animals. Like, a lot, but it's only a few compared to my last game. I had like 300 and something on that. And I've got Meadow, Tallface, Angus, and Greystroke are my original 4 cats that I loaded in with. Let's save. Everybody survived, so we'll save this Nedo too. Alright, so I had a quest come in. And Chimpanzee's injured as well, and so is Seahorse. Who else can make the dusters? I think it's grafting. Now you need to have that. It's whoever's the highest. Okay, Amiya's pretty high. Can you... Amiya? The reason why I can't click on these? Make pasta. Yeah, the dusters are there. Maybe I don't have the skins or something. I've got wool. I've got lots of wool. Oh, look. Yeah, I can make it from anything. Why aren't they going to do it? They could both access it. I did just move these benches just before I hopped off last week. Maybe they... Oh, because Weeks was making something. There we go. Okay. It gets weird sometimes, this game. Look, I know you're playing horseshoes, but are you able to work on that even though it was that? I don't want to unfinish it. You can cancel an order and it will go back to being just little, what do you call it, sheets of material, but I don't want to cancel it because it's already put work in. Okay, you've detected a cluster of cargo pods crashing nearby. Something might be useful in the wreckage. Let's have a look. Drugs. Always drugs. You people, stop sending me drugs. Yeah, no worries, go for it. Alright. So I can't make them make their dusters. That's fine. We did put down some solar panels and we have selected a research focus at least. They are supposed to be cleaning and they are supposed to be emptying these animals of their last trip. But I think they're going to be patching everybody up at the moment. And I will be sowing these fields soon because it's going to be back to a growing sort of point soon. So what's it say? Growing period is 40 out of 60 days of the 1st of April, May. All right. 1st of April, May of September. Oh, okay. It's between those 2 dates. Rightio. Got it. Okay. So we're in December. So I think it goes December and then February, May or something. February, March. I think it's the next one. So we'll wait until it clocks over before I'm going to let them sow them because it's going to take a while. And I really need them to focus on getting these dusters done. We only have about 5. 6? We got 6 done. It's an improvement. How long have we got for that quest? Speaking of, we have that other quest I haven't read yet. I'm just going to say that that's... I'm going to call it cigars because I can't say whatever that is. Stash of goodies. So, Chief of the Red Shrew Ambers has informed us of a collection of valuable items worth $1,050, not far from us. The collection consists of Glitter World medication and a skill trainer for crafting. Siga says that there may be an unknown threat. Okay. Well, I mean, the Glitter World medicine's definitely worth it for me. It's not that far away. Where is this other quest that I'll be going off onto? Okay, it's basically the opposite direction, but I mean, I could do a roundabout in either direction. That would work. Alright. So yeah, last time I was obviously making up the extra beds because we got McLean. Got McLean and Nitro drop in. No, we caught Nitro and we got McLean. I think that's how that went. So the idea is that we had to make a bunch of beds, which meant that all of this had to be rearranged because I can never figure out layouts. And so we succeeded in getting our hospital bed, our hospital ward and everything, and that's fantastic. Now we've got all these actual bedded areas, which is also really good. I'm unsure why this is so dark, and I think that's just because it's closed off, whereas that one's open. But we've basically got... Everybody has a double bed, access to double beds, so they're not complaining about that. They've got real beds. They've got heaps and heaps of, you know, dining area. There's no problems with that. They've got an entertainment room with a TV, some games and chess and all that kind of stuff, so some strategy and whatnot. And we've got our crafting stations. Actually, yeah, no, he's still injured. Amia, can you... You are? Great, just prioritize that. Prioritize on top of your priorities. So yeah, we've got a couple of crafting things and we've got a couple of research tables. Just in the event that we have more than one person available to be doing that thing, they can go and do it. We also have a stonecutters table, which at the moment, I think I've got everything suspended because otherwise they'll just sit there all damn day. And they won't do anything else, even if I don't need blocks, so it's suspended. We've got a double prison. Hey, weeks cleaning. We'd have nothing to smelt these robots down with yet. And I'm not going to get up to that until after I've got solar up and running. because there's no point. It requires extra electricity that I don't currently have. And, you know, that would just be a waste. That would be a draw on their supply that at the moment is life-saving for them, because we need to be running air conditioners and heaters in the, you know, opposing ones. However, this room does have a geyser in it, so how's it doing? Still -5 with the air conditioners. What are they set to? They're set to 21. No, that's fantastic. Doing really well. I was wondering if this room was going to get hot, or if, like, enclosing the geyser wasn't going to be that big of a problem, but it's not a problem, it seems. This area is 31 degrees. We need to tone this down. I need to not select the kitchen. Okay, so you guys, I think really warm enough for you guys could turn that off now, because it's 31 degrees inside, but it's coming up to 9 outside, so that'd be good. And then in the kitchen, so we also made a choice to have wood fire stoves and electric stoves. So in the past, I had a massive kitchen that had all electric stoves, and as soon as you got a solar flare, or, you know, your power supplies broke, bam, no cooking, no production. When you've got up to and over 100 colonists, no production for a single day is detrimental. So what I thought about doing this time is having the option of both. Food poisoning. They're always getting food poisoning. So now that they've got the option of both, when we have a power outage, they can use the wood fire stoves. And if we don't have wood, but we've got electricity, they can be cooking on the electric stoves, which is fantastic. I just don't understand why I just never did that before. I think I kind of thought that this was like one of those games where the progression of technology was the better option, and it's kind of not. Everything's sort of about equal. It's just what resources you prefer to use. And knowing that now is actually really, like, helpful, because I can use both. Now, we do need to keep an eye on the wildlife, because we keep getting meat eaters come in and they keep eating our freaking cats. And I know there's going to be a lot of, like, meowing and mewing and all that sort of stuff going on, but I do have a number of cats and panthers and stuff scurrying around this place. I've only got two alive cats now. Oh, what's this wog doing? The wog is attacking after being harmed, and it will hunt any humanoid it can reach. It will calm down when it goes. I didn't know they do that. Okay. Lumi's on it. Not a problem. Yeah, I never knew that they actually calmed down when they slept. I've just seen them go on a rampage non-stop. I can't stop yawning. I'm not particularly tired, but I'm definitely a little worn out from doing back-to-back streaming for 4 days, and video editing and stuff like that, which, by the way, I did find a slightly faster way to do my video editing, so I've cut down on that time at least. Apparently Twitch has a way to add additional highlights after you've highlighted a section without going out and back into the video, so you can kind of just do it all, like if it's a show, like for instance 7 days where it was a 3-hour stream, I can break that down into 3 videos, being just starting and stopping from where they are minute to minute. So that was really interesting to learn. So that saved me some time. So I actually had extra time to do, like, to look into adding more content to my Instagram, and working out a little bit better how to use the Twitter account, and you know, checking out more features of, like, some of the other social media things that I'm using, like TikTok seems to be very popular for a lot of my little clips and videos and stuff like that. Weeks is cleaning. She's being a good girl. I need that cleaned. We're going for dusters. 8. Alright, guys, you gotta kind of pick it up. Is this still chimpanzees? He's still healing. Seahorse, can you... Amia's... Okay. Amia probably wants to go to bed. And she's working on it. I'm waiting for... There he is. Okay, mate, just go do what you gotta do. And get back here and start working on this, because I need it. Alright. Yeah, chimpanzee's kind of the man for this. He's always... When I got him originally, he was a cave... he was like a caveman. It was like a wild human. That's it. And so he wandered in, and I had to tame him like an animal. When he finally decided to join our society, originally in my past games, he had no social abilities, which I actually found was really quite difficult at the time because the original group I had, I kept kind of building on. So I had Lumi, Amiya, and Shizuka was my very, very first game load-in. And I liked them, so I remade them and brought them into my next game. In my next game, I also got a Costa. And no, I think Costa was from the first one. I brought her with. She was my first person to join. The next game brought me Winx and Lincoln, Ane-san, Enyo, and I think Chimpanzee, maybe Tofu. Really, really late game, I had Tofu. So I kind of all brought them back in again because of my second play. The second map that really did well, they were kind of like my group. So I ended up making... Thanks for that. I needed that animal dying in my ear. I brought in Seahorse after she came in one of my games, and I made her a sister of silverware. And now we've got Nitro and McLean. I almost brought in Franklin for my very last game. He was a pacifist healer, medic, and that was really awesome. But I just didn't want to start with a pacifist when I already had 12 people coming in to begin with. Ambrosia. The grove of mysterious ambrosia bush has sprouted nearby. If you wait for the plants to grow, you'll be able to harvest the delicious, pleasurable, and slightly addictive fruit. Yes, however, it is a drug, and I'm going to let it grow because it is in with the animals, so good luck to it. But it sells really well. It's an expensive drug that grows naturally occasionally. I'm just going to harvest all these medical plants. Sometimes if you see me zoom out really far to a point where you can barely see the animals and stuff, I'm normally searching for like a plant, and I'm trying to select as many plants of that as I can in that area. Also, this is our animal pen, so oh, silverware's inspired to do trading. That's really good. I'll keep an eye out for that in case we get a trader. So yeah, normally what happens is you need to have a pen for your animals, for your herding and farm animals and stuff like that, so that they can be contained. And what I found is that when it's a single layer pen, as in this single layer square, if the wall breaks, they start to roam, and they can roam away and leave your map, which is not what you want, because each one of these animals has had training, and they will have a level of training. If I show you in here, so for instance, a lot of the meat eater animals and thrombos and stuff like that in my base have been trained, and they've been trained to be like their tameness, their ability to guard, attack, which is what we had before in that battle, is they can help attack as extra units. They can rescue, so if somebody's down, they can go and collect them. And hauling. So hauling is basically if there's an item that's been harvested or dropped or whatever across the map, the animal will run out and pick it up and bring it back to where it's supposed to go, which is super useful because when I start getting a lot of people, I want the people to be working and I want the animals to be hauling. That is the point. Basically, the only time somebody should be hauling is if we're off home base on another map and they don't have those kind of animals, or if they're bringing resource to make something. So then we have follow master while they're drafted. I do have that because if an attack happens, they are extra units. It's worth having that. And follow master while the master is doing fieldwork. Now I stopped that from happening for a couple of reasons. Is A, the animals will follow the people everywhere. Without boundaries, they'll go everywhere through this place, and I do not want that. The other thing too is that part of having so many animals is I have natural reproduction on. Now, if you have animals in your colony they will generally reproduce with each other anyway. However, if you get wild animals occur on your map, the natural reproduction causes the wild animals to reproduce, which means you can get more animals to harvest and eat. It's useful. So if my animals are roaming around with my people, they're not mating, they're not reproducing, I'm not getting more animals for hauling and attacking and eating. It's not worth it. So yeah, you've never played the game, you've heard of it. It is a little bit more complex. This is basically a mostly vanilla version, honestly. I only have a couple of mods on, and even the mods that I've got are really basic. Like, it's basically like I can click on, say, one of these pack animals if they've still got one that has anybody still got a thingy on it? No, nobody's got a saddle on it. The idea would be I could click on one of my animals, and if they had a section in here that said gear, I could ask them to drop that. It's a very simple kind of mod, and prepare carefully, which allows me to take in my previous characters. And I think I've got one that I can put clothing on dresses. So if I have a prison, I can have a couple of little like side tables, and it will allow me. Sorry, I need to cough. Give me a second. I don't have a button to mute yet, and I was just getting a tickle in my throat. But you can put a side table in with your prison areas, and you can put clothing on top of that. And so when they eventually decide to join, they immediately have access to clothing. But beyond that, I've mostly just got the mods that allow those to work together, which is like a harmony and something else mod. The game is pretty basic in a sense. Like, obviously, there's not a lot of animation to it. It's smooth, but it's low kind of thing. I'm gonna cull all these wild animals because I just saw some donkeys down here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it can be really simple, and it can be really difficult at times. Hey, the boomalopes are agitated because somebody shot one. Watch them go. They're all going to attack now. I don't know if... Okay, we're fine. They blow up sometimes when you kill them. Oh, tofu. How's your health? Yeah, you got a burn on your right leg. Just walk it off, mate. You'll be right. This one's still to go. Exotic goods trader. Oh, cool. That's great timing. So we've got a caravan from West Atchway approaching, and they're an exotic goods trader. So they might actually have rare items, medicines, foods, stuff like that. So that'd be great. And Silverware's got a current buff for this, so we're just gonna grab her and get her to come and chat with them. Because at the moment, it should be showing she has 15 social. And right now, where does that show up? Social, gear, needs, bio, no, log. Where does this thing show up? Ah, right there. Don't mind me. So inspired trade, and it goes in 7.1 days. It doesn't actually say how much she's buffed by, but I know it's like by 1 or 2 points. I would say it is a fantasy genre. It's a storytelling medium in a sense, is I believe what it's referred to. And the idea is that you can create any kind of colony, more or less, and you can play out the game however you want. I have a couple of friends that play this game, and in particular, one of them loves to play it as an exclusively cannibal tribe, and they've played it where they've had it low tech only. So for instance, when you're building stuff and you go into production, like they might only have like a butcher's spot or a butcher's table or something like that. And when it comes to cooking, they're not allowed to use electric, or they might get in an extra mod that allows them to be any kind of race, and you can have like orcs or dragons or whatever you want. Basically, there's so many mods for this game. I do like to play it kind of vanilla. I'm kind of, I guess, that kind of person where I just play the game how it was sort of made. and intended to kind of be enjoyed from a basic perspective. But yeah, generally speaking, like I've made a story by bringing my previous people, and I will continue to probably bring them into further games. And if I get one or two characters from each new map, I will make them in the Prepare Carefully section, that mod that I have, and therefore they will come with me into the next story. And so, from this perspective, I'm telling the story of the city of Delhurst and the tribe of Nedo. Yeah, basically, it's a kind of sandbox game. And yeah, there aren't any particular. It's not like a goal-based type thing. Like, I'll just get past this negotiation, and I'll come back to it. My negotiator cannot hear properly. Oh, that's right. She's got like an ear or something burnt off or whatever. Get Seahorse out here. I know it's like afternoon. Where is the talking person? They got a question mark there. Yeah, so basically the game, when you get the game, it tells you about how it tells you about how each interaction is a unique situation, and how it affects the colony, and how it affects a lot of things. Sorry. So for instance, when I have a raid happen or any kind of attack situation, you'll see me save right before whatever happens. And my goal through each of the negative situations is to get out of it with the least amount of casualties in the best condition, because I want my group to grow. I want to have a really large colony like I have before in the past, and I want to show the colony growing and the troubles that they go through. People will get hurt, they'll lose limbs, they'll get bionic limbs, they'll do research. I'll give them trainers to research more, all sorts of things. And some people will have tantrums, some people will literally have like certain things that kind of tick them off. Like somebody might have an annoying grating voice, and they work in the kitchen all day, and the guy next to him absolutely hates his voice, so he just gets in a punch up one afternoon, and then the next day they're all in hospital. There's no cooks. Like it's fun in the silly sense of like seeing what they just get up to. And I'd like to find the mod that one of my friends has, where you can see roughly what they say when they pass each other. They actually have a conversation, and they'll be passing each other, and instead of it saying social, I can't click on it at the moment. Instead of it saying social, and you can go in there and see what they've said recently or interacted recently towards each other, you can actually see it on the screen as they're passing each other. And I just don't know what that one's called, but a lot of the mods at the moment aren't compatible with the new version that they brought out for the biotech update DLC. I think it's a DLC, and I don't have biotech. I actually bought it for a friend because it's not really my thing, but it was definitely his. But yeah, it's because of this new update, a lot of the mods don't work, so I had to roll my game back to keep my previous what do you call it? My faction of Hatora. That was my previous group that had like 130 something people and 300 plus animals, and it was just a massive town. But yeah, I thought, well, if I'm gonna stream it, because that was at end game kind of situation, and there was no way for me to leave because the spaceship to leave the world. That's kind of the objective, is to get your people back off the planet. And because of that, mine was in the snow, like minus 35 degrees on average, and there's just no way I could take my people up there. All the animals died when I got into an area that was like minus 15, and my people kept getting hypothermia, and they just weren't equipped for it. And I realized that as much as I'd like to be able to finish that game, I can't with the quests that I had with where it was. I could have made a spaceship on my map However, in the process of making it, from the second you put down the blueprint to make a spaceship, you get waves of attack, and they do not stop until you've launched that spacecraft. And we just weren't able to build it. I tried making it once, and I had to roll back my saves for about a month because I tried over and over for a month, and I just could not succeed, and my people kept dying, and I didn't want to lose everybody, you know. I tried so hard to keep them all, and some scenarios don't give you a choice. Like, for instance, some outcomes you get like 5 people really severely hurt, a critical condition, and sometimes only one person out of them will actually die, but it will actually randomize which person, and whatever your decision is will decide the fate of that other person. So that's what I've learned with this game. That's why you'll see me save and roll back sometimes if something really bad happens. Yeah, you do have to really prepare, especially for caravans and stuff like that. Like, I'll explain as I go, but there is so much nuances to this game that, especially like when you play it, there is this like learning helper, but I don't know, it wasn't really helping me that much. And I actually found more helpful to learn from other people that had played it. We'll just get this trade done so I can click on some things. I do have a lot of chickens and stuff, and if I be honest, I'm not particular about slaughtering which animals or whatever, but in this game, you gotta understand, all animals are pets and all animals are food. So if I buy something and I slaughter it, don't take it personally if you love that animal. I'm sorry, but in this game it's food. So they've got some Glitter World medicine, which is rare and hard to get and incredible, really good healing properties. So I'm gonna buy all of that. I don't care what it costs, because my negotiator has a 22% negotiation bonus. So she's really high at social skills, right? But she also is in good health, which is where we're getting this 22% from. So she's in good health and she's really great socially. So anything I buy is going to be a better price than what I would get it in a different way. So here's like an example. So it says the price you receive for selling this is market value is $32 times by 0.60 selling. Your negotiator bonus of 22% equals the final price of $24. So I get a discount down to $24 by using Seahorse. And she's in perfect health right now. If she was in a battle, even if she was my best negotiator, her percentage would go way down, and they'd tell me, like before, that your negotiator has a problem and perhaps better off to choose somebody else. Seahorse and Onesan are my negotiators for this. However, I thought the silverware had the bonus on at the moment for a little while. I thought I'd give her a go, but I did forget that she had her ear burnt off. We had an explosion, things didn't go well. I think a cat got like some stuff blown off too. It was just bad all around. We can get, these are skill trainers. So skill trainers allow you to be able to give your characters a few extra points in a skill. So in crafting, they might get better at making jackets or crafting sculptures and stuff like that, but they'll only go up by so many points depending on if they're a good learner or not, or just a normal person. A good learner might get, say, let's be generous here and say they get 5 points. A normal person might get, say, 3, and a slow learner might get only 1 or 2 points. Sorry, I'm going to take a swig of water because I'm coughing a bit. I don't know what it is with my throat this morning. I bought this gum because when I've been drinking my coffees, I'm not a morning coffee person. However, I've been having them lately because the last couple of days of streaming in a row has been a little bit taxing. And my people going through tough times. Not yet, they're not. You wait and see. As I said, I bought this gum for the coffees I was having, because I was making really strong coffees, and I think the gum has irritated my throat, and I'm like, what a day to be doing it, you know? So these are like the stuff that you can buy for in case, say, your person has a heart condition. You can buy them a heart, an organ, but you have to get it into refrigeration ASAP or it starts deteriorating, and every bit of deterioration affects the quality of that transplant and how the person lives. The other thing too is if you harvest organs from one of your colonists that are sick and dying, oh my god, do they lose their fucking minds. They riot, they murder, they slaughter, they just go ham on it. And they stay like that for like a week or two in game. It's a long time. It's like the equivalent of like their month. They basically just have a bad month, except they take it out on me. You know, um, so I have Rumbo horns, which I loaded in with, and this is an exotic goods trader, which is where I'd be able to trade this. So he's only got $918, and so far my purchases have got me at negative that, which I've got the money, I do, but I did bring in Thrumbo horns to be able to mitigate early game. At the moment, I'm going to get my goods plus $913 of his money. Yeah. Okay. So I also want, you've got some psychic shock lancers. I'm going to take another one because I think McLean needs one. At the moment, these psychic shock lancers are fantastic. So the basic difference between the insanity and the shock lance is the psychic shock lance. If somebody's going psycho in your base and they're gonna literally murder somebody or slaughter something, you can use this by attacking the person with it, and it's kind of like casting a spell on them. And they'll go down. Sometimes they'll catch fire. Sometimes the brain will catch fire. Sometimes they'll become a what is that word? I can't think of it. It's where they a savant. That's it. Where they can't speak, but they are amazing suddenly at a new talent, top skilled. So I mean, it sucks because sometimes you kind of fuck over somebody and they can no longer talk, but it does prevent. Yeah, the brain catches fire. It does prevent them from doing something irreversible in the base. However, the psychic shock lance does leave a permanent brain scar, and that will sometimes be itchy or irritated and cause the person discomfort in the future. However, these things have literally been a lifesaver, especially when I want to capture a enemy. So if I go to an enemy camp and I attack them, what I want to get out of it is that my people are very strong, and if I attack them with fists or with a weapon, I'm going to kill them. And I want to take this person home, and I want to convince them to become part of my colony. So I'll hit them with the shock lance and knock them down. Hopefully they won't catch fire, and we take them home in chains. And when they kind of snap out of the shock after recovering in a bed for a while, they'll get up and they'll be my prisoner. And that has been a really great way to capture people. So I love having these. The Insanity Lance is, I stay the hell away from this thing. I bought one by accident once. Yeah, I mean, it's what I do, you know. I just like steal people so I can have a big base. Human trafficking, all that sort of good stuff. So the Psychic Insanity Lance literally does the same kind of thing. It casts a spell on whoever the target is. However, it causes them to go into a state of insanity. And in the state of insanity, they will literally attack anything and everything around them until they come out of that state of insanity. And that could be one person, or that could be 5 people, or that could be 20 animals, or whatever. However, it could, in the event of a large raid, save a lot of people by turning their people on themselves. And I know it sounds like a really good weapon for that, but I still don't use it because they look so similar in the actual like little menu of my people So when I go to attack somebody, I can accidentally send them into a psychotic insanity. We don't want that. I also have enough of a TV at the moment, so I'm not going to grab him a TV, but on another horn. Okay, so we're going to come out of this with all my goods plus $904, and we're going to accept that. Unfortunately, the traders just literally just drop all their stuff right there. But let's send McLean down to grab this. Force equip? Yes, please. So what's going to happen is he's going to pick that up and it's become part of his equipment. So now you'll see down here, no? Okay, if I draft him for a hot second, the psychic shock lance, he can use that now. But he's incapable of violence, so basically useless on him. So, oh, this guy's got one too. I might actually get him to drop that, because he can't use it. I kind of forgot he's a pacifist, so that's why he's not going to have guns and stuff. This guy got a gun. Let's just do a quick check, because some people got knocked down. I want to make sure they've still got weapons. You don't. What do you do? How did you end up more melee? Oh, that's right. You're the only other person that was using a sword. No, this is food area. What am I doing? I need to be over in this area. We are looking for a sword. There it is. They'll do it. Now you. See if we've all got stuff. Yes? Yes. Fabulous. I'll save that. Okay, so how many dusters we got made? 10. And how long have we got on this quest? 6 days. Well, it took 4 days to do how many? 4? 4 a day? Oh, it's dreadful, people. Who's making these things? Amia and Chimpanzee. Chimpanzee's asleep. We'll give him a pass, but I'm going to stop Amia from making that, and we're going to get Seahorse in here. I want a nighttime and a daytime person. No more 1 per day. I want 2 per day. Is 1 person working on it at night, and 1 person coming and working on it in the day. And hey, if they've got some downtime for recreation in between that, good on them. But this is the priority. And it's still April, May, so that's not too bad. But you can already see the snow's basically almost cleared. Like, here's still a little bit white. There's a little bit white, but it is clearing, which means it's warming up. 3 degrees outdoors. Shop time. What's shop time? Shizuka, what are you eating? Oh, yeah, the quests and stuff. You'll see when I eventually start traveling that, for instance, if it's snowing, if it's winter, a trip from here to say here, even though it might say it's only, say, 1 day of traveling, it's gonna be probably 2 in the snow. The game does not tell you that. So the amount of times where I would get to winter, and because I couldn't do much in winter, oh, sweatshop. Sorry, I thought you said sweet shop. I'm terrible with words. It definitely is a sweatshop. So in winter, what happens is generally there's not a lot of production that can be done because, well, these are just not being sown. The crops aren't being sown, aren't being tended to. And, you know, most of the animals, we've got a little bit of training going on, but it's mostly just maintain a connection with them, and that's fine. But there's not a lot of extra going on. So what would normally happen is I would pick up all my people, and we would go on a northern safari to somewhere, and I would not pack enough food or, you know, enough anything, and they would end up just stranded, starving, sick, whatever, and taking twice as long to get somewhere, knowing full well that anything that they buy has to be food to get back, and it's 100% waste of a trip. Also, I need to select these so that they can actually take them, because I just noticed it before, and that's where her gladius went. Alright. These steel slags they can bring in. I don't think they can smelt those yet. God, I love the sound of the deers getting hunted. Like that last little like scream. I don't know what it is, but I find it hilarious. Probably morbid as hell. What other wildlife we got? We got a lot of ibex does and some small creatures. I sometimes do leave the small ones like rats and squirrels for the cats to hunt. They normally will hunt on their own if there's meat around, or they'll just walk in here and just like snack on something. Ah, they're leaving. Also, I noticed that in summer, it's apparently an extreme temperature on this map, so traders just piss off immediately, and animals just literally walk in and yeet out of there. Like as fast as they can run, they run off this map. And so I see something appear and I'm like, oh sweet, I can hunt that, and it's like meow. You know. Okay, so sad wanderer. Seahorse is broken down and wandering in sadness because she's in a poor mood and she was malnourished. Well, I mean, I did tell you to work on that, but I didn't tell you to not eat. That was kind of like logic. He's doing a broken thingy or whatever. But mate, I kind of need you to just... Weeks, get your ass back here. You can work on that one. That one can go away. I need 2 people to be working on these at all times if I can. They do get very particular about day to night tasks too. Like the night owls. I've got 3 night owls in here. A seahorse, silverware, and I think Lincoln. Yeah. So the night owls need to be working at night. So I have a schedule for them. And generally speaking, during the day they work during the day for normal people. And the night owls start just after recreation. They all get up and have recreation together. And then the night owls start. And when the night owls are going to bed, the day shifters are starting. So they're having a party, by the way. Lumi decided to throw a party to make everybody happy. And I think that's a great idea. They're just going to trash that place though. But I mean, they'll mull around. They'll have a bit of chit chat. Like here's where you can see what they're talking about. And I can't remember if it starts from up here. I think it starts from the top and goes down. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're just telling jokes. Just keeping an eye on it for a second to see which way it goes. Okay, so it goes top to bottom. I was wondering about that. I figured that the top one was the most recent interaction. So, funny story is when Nitro got captured and he was our prisoner for a little bit, I think it was Lumi or Shizuka, it might have been Shizuka, who decided to go and try to entice him to join our colony. And part of that as a warden is to go and socialize with them. Socialize, feed them, you know, that kind of thing. Makes them happy, makes them want to become part of your group. And what ended up happening is the lady that went in there to talk to him offered him intimacy if he would join. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Intimacy. You're soliciting the man, you know? Like, wow, what a